Hello and welcome. If you're in the market to build a 350 to 400 horsepower car of your dreams, a street car, this is the video for you. This isn't for any car in particular, so keep that in mind. This is just in reference to my Honda that I have built. So I believe that there were three fundamentals that I followed that allowed me to achieve my car goals, and that would be the first one, starting with research. The next one would definitely have to be the build list and buying parts. You have to put a list together of everything that you need for your car to achieve the goals you want. I feel like that's important. Buying quality parts, we'll talk a little bit about that. And then finally, what's really important is definitely goal setting. Believe it or not, you do it all the time. It's important to have goals when putting a car together. That way you can achieve things on a timely manner and receive realistic expectations for your goals. So that would be the final one. Anyways, guys, let's move on. So the first step would be to go to your search engine of choice, mine being Google, so I have a Google account. And I searched up, for example, dseries.org. This is the main forum I browse when building my car because I have a D16Y8 in my Honda. And it is still quite an active forum, surprisingly for how old the engine platform is, and there's still a community asking questions every day. You see that there's a search tab on the top. You can search just any sort of key term that you want. For example, I searched in 400 horsepower, and there are tons of threads that mention the term. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that those are going to be helpful to you. That's why you have to sift through them and find the ones valuable for you. But basically, what I'm saying is, like, you can pretty much do this on a lot of forum pages. There's a lot of them, like Honda Tech, for example. These are just for Hondas. This is the first thing that comes to my mind. So dseries.org, Honda Tech. There's a lot of other great forums you can search online to give you the answers you need. Something to keep in mind too. So another important thing I want to point out too is not just so much as, you know, just doing correct research, obviously, and asking questions and stuff like that, but it comes down to relevance of information. This is extremely important. So checking the dates and times that these threads were started and the questions and responses. Seeing how old they are. As you can see, this one is from April 5th, 2009. That's too old. Technology and all sorts of stuff has changed since 2009, as you're well aware. So there's always new industry ideas coming out. So it's good to, you know, get relevant information. And the best way to do that is to, you know, create an account for these forums and then just ask your questions. You may get ridiculed because it's already been asked, but it's always good to be sure. So that's my suggestion there. It's the best way to deal with that. So second best and my personal favorite way of researching is actually using YouTube. It's a great platform. It's a great way to get active questions answered. Depends on the relevance of the video though, like I said. Basically, search the key term you're looking for. So my example would be a 400 horsepower Honda, or find comments in the description. Most of the time you'll find like somebody will ask a question and the person who uploaded the video will probably respond to it and answer that with whatever their answer to the question is. That's a great way to actually get really good information because you can see exactly what results they were able to achieve. It's amazing. It's good stuff. So the build and buying list is definitely going to be the most fun part of the entire project. Putting your car together is probably the best feeling ever. It's very satisfying. I'm going to give you guys a few tips on how we kind of did that and are the processes that followed. I'm going to show you guys how to, where I source my parts, where I buy, what I look for. And I'm also going to be offering a lot of great tips and advice here on, the processes that I followed. And just kind of avoiding making mistakes here, because this is the most stressful part for sure when it comes to putting a car together. So anyways, guys, let's get into it. So here are some actual products that I have bought through my eBay account. This is over the past couple of years of kind of putting the car together. As you can see, I've gotten quite a few great deals at the time. Obviously, prices have changed significantly since then, so don't think that these are fake or that I redid all the pricing. This is just miscellaneous stuff I've bought along the way. So but yeah, so keep in mind, prices change. So if you find something that's on a good deal, do not hesitate to get it if you need it. So a perfect example of price fluctuation would be this radiator that I've had on the build. You can see that it's $48.99 when I purchased it, and as you look now, it is now $66.99. Prices do fluctuate, so when you know you need something, make sure to pick it up as soon as you can, so that way you don't either run out of the product or that you get it the absolute most best deal on it. So that's another little tip that I got for you guys, because I know how important that is. Some of us like to try and save money. So another little tip for you guys, this kind of gets passed around a lot. A lot of people do not wear protection when they work on their vehicles, including myself. I'm guilty of this. I've actually had some like lifelong scars now because of like me working on my car, and just when you work on cars, they always just find a way to like get hurt. You always there's always ways to get hurt. You'll get cut on trim pieces, you'll get cut on random bolts and nuts, especially if they're rusted. But it's important to like wear clothing that, you know, that's going to support the job. Same thing with gloves. I can't stress that enough. I've had some pretty bad accidents, so I cannot stress that enough. Wear gloves, be protected. Plus, you never know, like with the oils and stuff, that you don't ever know how much it's actually getting absorbed into your skin, so just pay attention to that. So another great tip, and this gets passed over as well, I do this still every time pretty much I work on my car, but do not forget to eat and drink lots of water. I think this gets passed over a lot. My attention span gets dropped. I have a lot less patience when I'm hungry, as most people do, and it just makes things a lot worse if you're not if you're just not eating. Make sure to fucking eat when you before you work on your car. You're gonna get pissed off at yourself and at stupid shit. That'd be one of my best tips for sure. Something that gets overlooked a lot. You wouldn't think that would be a tip, but it's a tip. So, and finally, this tip is also one of the most overlooked. I mean, it should be common sense, especially if it's a project. But do not work on your daily driver. If you're trying to turn your daily driver into a street car, have another car on the side to be able to drive. You cannot work on your car and still drive it. And if you are, you're fucking crazy. I'm telling you that right now. I've tried this. I haven't been able to pull it off. Doesn't mean it's not possible. It's just, it's very difficult, especially when you're like new to the whole thing. If you're like very well established in popular mechanics, then this should be no issue for you and you could probably get away with it. But for most of us who are not, who don't have every answer to every problem, I'd highly suggest getting it like a daily driver, a little beater or winter beater, whatever it is. It'll make your process for getting stuff done a lot more easy. You don't have to stress out as much about getting stuff done. So that's a great tip. Very overlooked. Get a daily driver or have mommy and daddy drive you around, whatever the case is. It will save you a lot of headache. That is another great tip. You're welcome. And now, finally, we talk about goal setting and why it's important with literally everything that you do. This is especially important when putting a project like this together. You need to know what's going on. You need to have goals. Most people don't think that they actually have them, but they do. For example, you chose 400 horsepower for some reason. That's your goal. And the whole point of having that goal is it makes you think of, how am I going to achieve that? So, same thing applies. You're going to be applying, your build list. You're going to be applying your tons of research. I mean, it all adds up, and that's why it's important to have goals, especially daily goals when it comes to, stuff that you want to get done in a day for your project. Many of you guys watch a lot of YouTubers who do this right in front of you, who don't even realize it. They grab those cardboard, slates of cardboard, and they write, everything they want to get done. Those are goals. It's important to have those. It's important to educate yourself on what you needed to do in order to have your goals, but it's important to plan everything out. So that's something that's overlooked a lot, and I'm glad I'm able to kind of expose the subject of goal setting and why it's important. So if you guys enjoyed the video, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm glad to be able to share this information with you and share with you guys my experience on how I was able to put down a street sweet car and how I was able to make my goals come true. So super stoked. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please share, get it out there, and try and grow. And the best way to do this is with you guys. So thank you so much for everything, and take care, guys. Also, just a quick little bonus. I'm going to show you guys some clips of some reactions I was able to get after the car was finished. Enjoy, guys.
I can see in your eyes. God damn it!